Starting lineup: Wukong, Garen, Zyra, Darius, Lee Sin. Up against Renekton, Wukong, Ari, Jinx, Brand. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Wukong as a top 8, Garen in the jungle 6, Zyra as a mid 7, Darius as a shooter 4, Lee Sin in support 5, Renekton as a top 9, Ari as a mid 6, Jinx as a shooter 5, Brand as support 7. So it is worth noting that this is the same exact Jinx player that we've had in Wukong episode 4 or episode 5, who was at the time a gray or a bronze player. This person is now silver, and this person at the time did very well on the scoreboard on Jinx on a very, very bad team. So this individual, Yuki, whoever this is, has consistently been a great shooter player, really not at all amateur tier. And it is on the channel the only good Jinx player that we have seen. Don't be deceived by the low rating here for support Lee Sin. Lee Sin is Zed's little brother in the sense that Lee Sin can achieve literally anything if your skill is great enough. That is to say, just like Neeko, just like Zed in many ways, Lee Sin could really work theoretically in every slot. The reason why I'm giving you a 5 out of 10 is because I'm assuming that you don't know how to play him. If you were a god player, then this would be a 10 out of 10 pick. Because Lee Sin, very much unlike, say, Teemo, or unlike, say, Warwick, has a nearly limitless ceiling. But as we've seen recently in Worlds, even the best of the best, when they've set out for themselves and plan to go with Lee Sin, they have to backpedal because sometimes they just can't come true because of the skill requirement. Lee Sin probably the hardest champion to play in the video game. There is no reason why he couldn't top, there's no reason why he couldn't mid, there's no reason why he couldn't shoot, there's no reason why he couldn't jungle, because with limitless mobility and with limitless flexibility, you could theoretically do anything. The only limitation is the fact that it is nearly impossible to do skill-wise, but the character itself has no limitations. Little bit of a closer look at what was going on in the jungle. You see me springing the rat trap. This is moments after the Drake is taken care of, and I can say without blushing that I am still in the casuals, the only jungler that I have ever come across that consistently goes in after every single objective. Because the way that it is understood in casuals is really more like when you're jungling, your main role in a casual game is to stay out of other people's way. That is what I've learned from playing support and from playing mid, is that when I observed other junglers and the interactions with other junglers, if somebody got the first Drake 25 minutes in, nobody would bat an eye. This would be considered totally part of the course and totally normal. So you see here one of the many reasons that Garen does not typically jungle. Although Garen is a strong character who can handle most things, here you have one of the things that he clearly does not excel at. This is why this has never grown this way. It's because he doesn't have an out. You will find in life, as you continuously question established wisdom, that there is probably a reason why things are being done in the way that they're being done. Many of the people in this game, such as Darius as a shooter or Garen as a jungler, do not believe in this pattern of established reason. I, for myself, really go in after every objective because that is what my understanding about the logistics of the game tell me. And I would really like to establish the patterns that I may need later on in way more significant games very early on. I would rather develop habits as a jungler that may help my team because now the games don't really matter, but one day they potentially might. And the reason why I explicitly say that is that the behavior in the community towards the completion of jungle objectives is pure Satanism. And it comes down to a very simple description. If you get 5 objectives and get ambushed at one, we will remember you for the single one that you didn't get. If you as a jungler pursue to get every possible buff or go in to get every possible buff for your team that the jungle could give you, we will only use that as a measuring stick if there ever is a single one missing and lacking. You're not required to be nice to each other or positive in any way, but the views on the jungle objectives and the jungler are truly about as sad as they get. Hence, the only people who keep it up and go after it every single time, like myself, are people who are internally motivated because they either love the game or they want to learn to understand the game. If you do it for any kind of social approval or any kind of social cohesion or any kind of social anything, you won't last doing that, pursuing jungle objectives, a single day. Yeah, absolutely could not resist including this clip because it so speaks to the zeitgeist and the situation that we're in broader as a league community. Because I'm all about because if you're growing up hyper privileged in, say, Belgium or, say, the Netherlands, and you're kind of encased in this sort of sphere or this bubble, and you've never experienced any hardship in your life up to the point that you're 26 years of age because your parents always made sure that the boo-boo was taken care of and you were always given and handed the prettiest clothes, at all times had the best kind of access to any kind of institution and education that could benefit you, only been exposed to everything that could possibly potentially enrich you, perhaps had some of the connections of mommy and daddy. Now we're playing a game together and you're for the first moment, say you're 25, 26, 27 years old, it's late night, and for the first couple of moments in your life, you're kind of going into public areas, public arenas, and you don't have that privilege that followed you your whole life. I'm sad, really sad. Because that's the emotion that many people had when they were 6 or 7 years old. And with you, you're the boy that has to come out when you're 27, 28 because of the fact that you've never been exposed to normal disappointment and normal circumstances in your entire life. Yeah, when you're a wukong guy, you will quickly become best friends with every turret. For wukong players, turrets have a special meaning and a special role. You see, the ultimate can keep somebody in some certain area, however long you would want to keep them there, as long as you can keep the cyclone up. And so, for me personally, I would give this advice to any kind of person to more so look at the turrets and look at the shooting range of the turrets to determine where you want to put your own borders and your own line in the sand, because the reality is that many people, especially in the casuals, they're trying to fly out at people around inhibitors or in the mid lane, which are terrible places to meet your enemy. If you can just lure them toward the vicinity of your turret, you will have a massive advantage. However, when playing Wukong, as you can see here, that advantage is just multiplied by the amount of time that you can forcefully keep them under the turret. And so Cyclone really has two damage potentials. It has the damage potential of you, your own arm, and your own items, and then it has the damage potential of whatever turret that you can hold them under. And as I always say, King Turret is undefeated. When you would ask casuals to describe Wukong's ultimate, they would go something like, oh, monkey swings a stick around, or he goes around with a stick, or he does a little twirl thing. The actual effect that it has on the game is large scale crowd control that can very precisely be aimed, that can be repeated, that lasts a very lengthy and long time, frequently emitted by a very tanky character in Wukong, that ends up fundamentally being much more like a stun than anything else. All the time that I can keep this up, you're fundamentally stunned. Dummy for target practice. Yeah, many things in modern day society function more as a cult-like belief than as an actual practical, rational thing. The way you get people organized, the way people come together. Think about the cult of the ruined king. Think about the cult of Dead Man's Plate. Think about the cult of plated steel caps. There is no real rational reason for these things. In most cases, you're only screwing yourself over. Think about the cult of Garen with his attack speed, for example. These things, they only create losing players, and you only see this in the casuals. In that same way, there is a cult about Baron Nashor. Now, the Baron is useful, and I myself will admit that I've underestimated in the past how useful the Baron can be. He's definitely a key element to many games, but this is not such an example. The enemy team is committing a massive mistake here. You have all of our towers down, a couple of inhibitors up, and the core is nearly down. The core is nearly destroyed, and this enemy team at 35 minutes in is going to go for Baron Nashor here. For what? For what? I have to conclude that you're simply afraid of going to the enemy camp, that you're simply afraid to take it to the enemy. Baron Nashor primarily is going to help you take down the enemy's turrets, right? That is specifically for turrets, really. You don't really need that if the only thing left standing is an inhibitor and then just the core itself. What is the Baron realistically going to do here? If you just took 2 or 3 guys down to our camp at this point, to the red camp at this point, you could easily probably take out the core, right? But no, instead they're going to risk it here with the Baron, because there's a cult of the Baron, because it's always, whenever it's up, it always has to come down right away. It's in almost every game that I'm in. If they know that they're going to get jumped, if they know that they're going to get piled, obviously the Baron is going to distract you in a fight. You're not going to be able to go all out the way you normally would, because you have to deal with the Baron on your back, obviously, as the attacking team here. But like many things, there is just the peer pressure, just like there is with Warwick in the jungle, just like there is with Garen and attack speed. There is just the peer pressure of doing it, and so we're going to do it, and we're going to do it for the sake of doing it, and then it's going to get done. And that is what is happening here. The actual effect of the Baron at this point in the game is practically zero, because the question doesn't come into play like, what could we get out of this? What is the piece of the puzzle that we're trying to solve? What is the thing? What is the question that we're trying to find an answer to? What is the mathematical equation that we're trying to solve here? No, instead it's more just like a kind of almost guilt thing, like the Baron is up and I haven't killed him yet, I feel guilty about that. It's more like that than anything else. Here in this clip, you see my questions being justified as to why RE is never ran as a jungler when Brand is being ran as a jungler, when Neko is being ran as a jungler. I don't understand why people have never tried it. I think RE could jungle. You can see here clearly the way she hops over these hedges. That is exactly what you need. The high AoE clear speed. And then think about her lure, like her third spell. You can pull people into your love or whatever it is, or you can seduce people. Think about how powerful that could be when ganking lanes and dropping in suddenly. RE hypermobile could definitely play a role in the jungle, is for some reason never ran as a jungler. We have here Renekton going up one-on-one against Darius, and it's an even matchup. This is a situation that could have never blossomed and never turned out this way, of course, if they hadn't burdened themselves with downing the Baron, but they're afraid that the other team may get it, or whatever at this point. We have RE in the typical role of trying to kill steal, which is normal for RE and really kind of her point. This person specifically only shoots and casts her spell while kill stealing and trying to kill steal at the last moment. So effectively this person was sabotaging the team to a large extent. Most of the damage in this team fight comes from Jinx, which is something that you will very rarely see. This Jinx player has an unusually good understanding of what Jinx has to do to perform well and has no business whatsoever in the amateurs. We have Wukong here trying to save Zyra, and you can tell that he has not been built properly and is focusing purely on cooldown and penetration, which is not really the way you want to build a supportive and especially not a tanking Wukong. With my kind of build, I can assure you, you could have survived this. And here, this is pure Jinx showcase. This is all out Jinx, and the entire play belongs to her here. This is probably the best showcase that you're ever going to get on my channel of why the best players in the world do not distance themselves from Jinx in any way. That is because of her splash. Effectively, it's all the bazooka in the... You see here two elements in display. You see her passive, let's get excited, and you see the splash damage of the bazooka. And those are the two elements to her skill set that really justify the term hyper carry. This is why she could theoretically work, and these quasi skills do not rely on any kind of ability cooldown. That's why the areas where she really shines, adding ability cooldown and assassin items will do nothing for her. She really is that dumb, typical Garen build of attack speed, crit chance, and attack speed. How does it work? Her first skill, Switcheroo, allows her to trade in mana in exchange for extra range and splash damage. Why does that make her a hyper carry? Well, when you have a couple of items together and now you get splash damage on all of that, as great as Jhin is, as great as Caitlyn is, as great as Ezreal is, naturally, the absolute pinnacle of damage can never be achieved without that splash damage. So in the absolute Rushmore and Olympus of the best heavy hitters, all the way maxed out, you have to multiply every one of Jinx's items in deep endgame, by all of her splash damage and her area effect. And consistent with what I'm saying throughout this clip, the stun pistol is not being used. The mines are not really being used at all. It's because her default kit is essentially only a distraction. It all comes down to, can I somehow survive? And if I can somehow survive as Jinx, now all my items in very deep endgame have this multiplier of the splash damage in any kind of team fight, which means that I can effectively hit everyone at the same time with my massive range attacks, as long as they're standing close enough to each other. Let's Get Excited revs her up and allows her more attack speed than could be possible for other champions. You're talking about reaching a level when stacking kill streaks where you effectively are playing with 6 players instead of 5, which is the height of irony, because in most Jinx games you will feel like you're playing with 4 players instead of 5. But when Jinx is going so fast in the middle of a kill streak, it is almost like you have 2 shooters at the same time, effectively temporarily turning the game into 6 versus 5. I hope that you get away from the casual games, because I think that you have a higher calling. Taking a look at the scoreboard here. Yeah, Jinx is a very popular champion. If any of you at any point want to play Jinx, copy this person's build entirely. This person should not be playing in the amateurs. Let's hope that this person will enjoy joining up with the competition on January 9th, and that this person will participate in the Noxus season and play ranked mode, because this person is not fit for the amateurs. This person is an unusual player, and you should completely copy this. This is perfection. This is complete perfection. This person knows more about Jinx than I do or than that you do. This is the way to go. Just, it is also consistent with what we've said previously. Ability cooldown is not the way to go with Jinx because of the fact that her abilities are quite terrible. So this is, if you're into Jinx and you're a masochist, this is it. This is it. Yeah, this is the warped derangements of your mind and the quirkiness of your mind here. Like, look at this lineup. There is nobody putting down any traps. I don't know what you're getting this for. For a couple of wards? You're gonna buy this whole thing for a couple of wards? Yeah, there's no reason for you to go this defensive. You slotted him as a shooter. Just commit. Like, it's not like Darius can't do damage at all, right? Just commit. Well, I don't know what is this thing with Dead Man's Plate? Is this a second Ruined King? Is this the second coming of Ruined King? Are you people? Somebody tell me, are you all getting this off of the same website? Dead Man's Plate. You're gonna use that as a shooter? Dead Man's Plate? The legendary, the forever. Attack speed on Garen. My favorite thing. Yeah. Attack speed and boots of swiftness and attack speed. Yeah. And of course, Dead Man's Plate. Attack speed. Attack speed. This item is more popular than it should be. I have played Renekton intensively myself. I absolutely love Renekton. You can really afford to go with Wit's End here. And it's not going to take down your survivability considerably. This Spirit Visage thing is another one of those items. There's a couple of those items that apparently all come from the same help site. Spirit Visage, Dead Man's Plate, Plated Steel Caps, and of course, most of all, by far most of all, the item that we don't have in this lineup. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We went a day without Ruined King because everybody gets Ruined King. Yeah, Ruined King, Spirit Visage, Dead Man's Plate, Plated Steel Caps, those 4 items, you people are all getting that from the same help site. Way more popular than they should be. Way more popular than they should be. Moving on.
Show me the path. My journey's only beginning.
First blood.
Bring me a real challenge. You got it.
An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
An ally has been slain.
Every mistake is a lesson.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Put me to the test. My place is at the top. Never settle for second. Who questions my ability? Is that all they got?
Enemy killing spree.
My journey's only
slain.
Bring me a real challenge. Show me the path. You got it.
Shut down.
Every mistake is a lesson. Adapt to all situations. Never settle for second.
An ally has been slain.
My place is at the top. New beginning.
Shut down. An enemy has been
Questions
slain.
my ability. Bring me a real challenge.
An ally has been slain.
You got it. Show me the path. mistake is a lesson. I got this.
An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
Turret plating will soon fall.
My place is at the top.
Enemy killing spree.
Been waiting for this.
Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy killing spree.
My journey's only beginning. Who questions my ability?
Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy rampage.
Never settle for second.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Bring me a real challenge. Show me the path.
An enemy has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
You have been slain. Enemy rampage.
You got it. My journey's only beginning.
Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy is unstoppable. An ally has been slain.
Your kind versus my kind.
Never settle for second. Wuju style.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Enemy double kill.
My place is at the top. Put me to the test. Bring me a real challenge. Every mistake is a lesson.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree. An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
Enemy killing spree.
You got it. Show me the path.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Who questions my ability?
Enemy rampage.
Never settle for
Your
second.
team has destroyed a turret.
My place is at the
Shut
top.
down.
Bring me a real challenge. mistake is a lesson.
An ally has been slain.
You got it.
Ally has been
Adapt
slain.
to all situations.
Shut down.
I got this. Show me the path. Never settle for second. Who questions my ability?
Shut down. An enemy has been slain. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
My place is at the top. Is that all they've got?
An ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Bring me a real challenge.
Shut down. Enemy killing spree.
My journey
Your turret has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Show me the path. Adapt to all situations.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Never settle for second. Who questions my ability? My place is at the top.
Shut down. Your inhibitor is respawning soon. Rampage. An enemy has been slain.
Bring me a real challenge.
Your inhibitor has respawned.
My journey's only beginning. Every mistake is a lesson. You got it. Adapt to
An
all
ally has
situations.
been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Show me the path.
Your inhibitor is respawning soon.
Never settle for second.
Your inhibitor has respawned.
Just try to stop me.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
Been waiting for this.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Double kill. Aced.
Put me to the
An
test.
enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. 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 Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Who questions my ability?
Your team has destroyed a turret. Shut down. An ally has been slain.
My place is at the top. My journey's only beginning. Bring me a real challenge. Every mistake is a lesson. You got it.
Rampage. Has been slain.
Show me the path. Adapt to all situations.